Hey, now it's Anthony with A&A bringing you another cop story. Let's get right into it. It's about 2009, and I get a phone call from my dad. This particular day, I was off work. I'm at home relaxing, and he tells me that I just purchased a taser, and I want you to show me how to use it. So first thing came to mind, okay, where did you buy a taser from? Second thing is, who sold it to you? Third is, why do you need it? So, so I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, Dad, what you need a taser for? And he said, well, I was at church and some guy grabbed me and pulled me out of church. And I was like, what? I said, Dad, hold on. Let me get this right. I said, so you telling me that you are in church, some guy comes into the church, pulls you out of church, no one said anything? What did people say? Nobody tried to stop him or said anything? And he was like, no, the guy was a preacher, and he was preaching, and he got upset because I was reading my Bible when he was preaching, and he was shouting, while he was preaching, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, so I decided to read my Bible since I didn't understand what his sermon was about. So, and I'm like, so he just stopped preaching and went and grabbed you? He was like, no, it was after church, So he's telling me stories in bits and pieces, and I had to ask him questions to get an understanding. But still, the way he gave me the story, it was like, that some guy grabbed him, and or the preacher grabbed him. And at this point, I am pissed off. So I'm asking my daddy all type of questions about the preacher, and I'm to the point, I'm like, I want to go and find this preacher and put my hands on him. He wasn't the preacher of the church. He was a guest preacher that would come in every so often and preach or whatever. So my dad said he was from Philadelphia. I don't know if he meant Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, Mississippi. There is a Philadelphia, Mississippi. So I'm like, okay, so he said, have you seen him since? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I'm pissed and I'm mad. So my plans was that Sunday, I was gonna go to church like every Sunday until I see him, because I was gonna put hands on him. Literally. And I don't judge me. I don't care what nobody thinks. I know you're a preacher, but you're still a human being, and that I'm not gonna put you on the pedestal because you're a preacher. I'm gonna put you on the pedestal because of your character. And I was gonna put some hands on this guy. I had every intention. I swear, I had every intentions on causing bodily harm to this preacher. So I get off the phone, and I've forgotten about the taser. So I get off the phone because I'm so mad about this. So I call my friend, and he's an officer. So I called him, and I'm like, hey man, this is what happened. This guy put his hands on my dad. I want to put my hands on him, this and this. So he's like, what? You want to go beat up a preacher? I said, man, I don't care. He put his hands on my dad, and I don't play that. My dad is 90 years old. Okay, he's over 90. He's a fragile man. I mean, he's lived a long time, and I don't want nobody bothering him. I want the rest of his time here on this earth pleasant and peaceful. I don't want nobody bothering him or my mother. So, I'm telling him this, and he said, maybe you should just go talk to the guy, but don't put your hands on him. But if he gets out of line, then you do what you have to do. But one, if he's like a 4th degree black belt, and he can, you probably, you go up there, you probably, it probably don't go the way you think it's gonna go. You probably get beat up. And I'm looking at him like, man, I don't care. You know, it's the principle. I'll take an ass whooping, but he's gonna have to know that that if he does something like that, he's not gonna do it and just walk away with an easy win. He's gonna have to face some type of consequence. So he said, well, okay, I know you don't care, but look at it this way. What if you go up there and you confront the guy, you put hands on the guy, and he a heart patient, and you know, he has a heart attack while you're attacking him and he dies, and then you get charged with murder. I was like, I don't know where he come up with these things, but that very well could happen. And I was like, wow. So that kind of made me a little hesitant of you know, seeking out this preacher and putting my hands on him. Well, so I went right after I get off the phone with my friend, my mother calls, and she said, hey, what did your dad tell you? And so I told her what my dad told me, and she said, no, that's not the way it happened. She said, this is how it happened. And see, my mom knows her son, and she knows that if I feel like you violated me or my family, I'm gonna retaliate, and she knows that. So she wanted to make sure that I got the whole story, because she already knew where my mind was. So she tells me the whole story. What really happened is that while my dad was in church, the guy was preaching. Okay, my parents and I were Catholic. I was raised Catholic. Catholic churches are boring, monotone, you know. It's not like live and gyrating, you know, like, you know, your Methodist or your Baptist where it'll keep your attention. But my dad is actually used to the monotone, boring, you know, monotone preaching and stuff like that. He's used to that. But this guy, he didn't have that preaching. He didn't have that style of preaching. He had a more Baptist style of preaching, and my dad don't quite understand that. You know, so my dad is West African, so all that yelling and gyrating and all that stuff, you know, he's not used to that in church, and so he didn't understand what the guy was saying, and so since he's not getting anything out the sermon, he said I should read my Bible. So he reads his Bible. The preacher takes offense to it. He said something about it in church. I don't know what he actually said, but he made reference to my dad, you know, and it really embarrassed my dad and my mother, you know, and so after church, someone told the preacher who my dad was. My dad has been a member of that church and that community for over 40 years. He's probably been a member of that church longer than that guy's been alive. So I guess the preacher felt bad of what he done, and he tried to, in his own way, apologizing, you know, but the best way to apologize is just to say, I apologize or I'm sorry, but he didn't do that. My dad had his back turned talking to other members, you know, and he came up from behind and grabbed my dad from behind, jokingly playing, and I guess he was trying to, trying to apologize in his own way without actually saying he's sorry. And so he already pissed my dad off with, embarrassing him, calling him out about reading his Bible during his sermon. And now you're grabbing him. So, he really wants to do something, but he's not able, he's an old man. So that's what really happened. I thought the guy grabbed my dad and pulled him out of church the way my dad explained it. So once my mom explained it to me, I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. Okay, I understand. I see where he's going. So then I think about it. I said, Mom, Dad bought a taser. And she was like, what? A taser? I said, yeah, he told me that the next time that guy approaches him or says anything to him, he was gonna tase him. And I think that's where I get that from, that fighting spirit. I think that's where I get it, I know that's where I get it from. And so I called so I said, hey mom, put dad on the phone. I said, Dad, where did you get this taser from? He said, not, not a taser, some mace. I'm like, oh. I said, Dad, you said taser. He said, no, some mace. I said, okay, well, I'll be there to take that from you because you don't need that either. And so, but now me and my friends and my wife, and we laugh about that because can you imagine this guy walking up to my dad and he tases him or sprays him? Wow, that would have been hilarious. But that's my story. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the future.